So, tell me something. How does it feel to bleed and then watch them walk away like you were never cut? To give your soul, stitch by stitch, thread by thread, and then realize they never even bothered to hold on to the seams. You were the storm behind their calm, the fire beneath their rise, the ghost behind their smile. And now, you're nothing but a shadow in their rearview mirror, fading, unspoken, forgotten. Isn't it funny? You gave them everything: time, energy, loyalty, love. You held their world together while yours was falling apart. You stayed when no one else would. You fought when everyone else fled. You believed in them more than they ever believed in themselves. But now, where are they? Gone, moved on, replaced you like an old pair of shoes, discarded like you were never essential, erased like your existence was just a pencil sketch they got bored of. That's the reality, isn't it? People don't remember the builders. They remember the buildings. They don't care who carried the weight. They only care that it got done. You gave them the best of you, and now you're choking on the silence they left behind. But listen closely. This pain, this burn in your chest, that's not weakness, that's proof. Proof you were real. Proof you mattered. Proof you had something they never did: depth. Because fake people don't get broken. They just float. Shallow, empty, disposable. But you shattered. Because you were full of truth, of feeling, of something genuine. You loved too hard, gave too much, and now you're left with nothing. But here's the beautiful part, my friend. Nothing is where legends begin. You think you lost? No, you shed. You didn't break down. You transformed. You didn't lose them. They lost you. And that's their curse. Because one day they'll look around in their perfect little lie, and they'll remember. They'll remember the one who stood in the fire without asking for water. The one who stayed up, held on, and kept giving, even when it killed them slowly. They'll remember you. But by then, you'll be gone. Not just physically, spiritually. You'll have elevated. You'll be too far above their reach. Too cold to touch. Too wise to fall. Too dangerous to love the same way ever again. Let me tell you a secret. They never deserved you. They only used you. Used your heart like a ladder. Your silence like a doormat. Your loyalty like a leash. But the leash is snapped now. You're unchained, unforgiving, unapologetic. And maybe, just maybe, that's what they feared all along. They feared that one day you'd wake up and see them for who they really are. Cowards, opportunists, parasites, feeding off the rare ones like you, feeding off your strength until you couldn't stand anymore, feeding off your kindness, your empathy, your passion. And then they vanished. Because that's what weak people do when the strong are no longer useful. But here's the twist. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're reborn. The pain they caused, it forged a new version of you. Sharper, colder, focused. You don't cry anymore. You calculate. You don't beg anymore. You build. You don't chase. You command. And now they're watching from behind the curtains. Because they know what they gave up, what they threw away. They remember your glow, but they never knew your fire. But the joke's on them, because now you're done performing. Let the world call you cold. Let them call you distant, unbothered, dangerous. Because what they're really saying is this: you can't be controlled anymore. And that terrifies them. They forgot you. Let them. Erase your name from their mouth. Let them pretend you were never there. Because one day when they're surrounded by hollow smiles and artificial loyalty, your absence will echo louder than your presence ever did. You'll haunt them, not as a ghost, but as a reminder. A reminder that they had a rare soul in their life, and they forgot. But you will remember everything. Not for revenge, not for closure, but for transformation. Because now, you walk alone, not broken, reborn. not bitter, wise, not vengeful, dangerous. Let the world forget your sacrifices. Let them overlook your scars. Let them dismiss your loyalty. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember the ones who gave everything. They remember the ones who became everything after being forgotten. You gave them your all. They gave you silence. You gave them loyalty. They gave you distance. Now give them what they never expected, your absence and your success. That's the ultimate revenge. Not screaming, not proving, just rising, quietly, unshakably, becoming everything they thought you couldn't be, without them. And when they remember, let them drown in it. You don't owe them a damn thing. Not a text, not a memory, not a goodbye. You gave them everything, and they forgot you anyway. So now, become unforgettable. Oh, unforgettable. Not by shouting, not by explaining, not by proving your worth to people who were blind to it in the first place, but by evolving in silence, by turning your scars into strategies, by making your pain your power, by becoming so untouchable that even their memory of you starts to tremble. You see, when they forgot you, they didn't just lose a person. They lost a shield, a warrior, a rare breed of loyalty that this world doesn't make anymore. They lost someone who would have gone to war for them, barehanded. And the worst part, they'll never find that again. Not in this lifetime, not in the next. You know why? Because people like you don't repeat. You're not a glitch in the system. You're a singular event. And the funny thing about people like them, they always come back when it's too late, when you've changed your number, when your eyes don't light up at their name anymore, when your heart doesn't skip, it solidifies, when your soul no longer bends, it stands. They'll come crawling back, confused by your silence, haunted by your absence, thirsty for the fire they once drowned in. But you won't be there, only the shadow of who you used to be, only the echo of the loyalty they shattered. Because now, you move differently. Now you smile with secrets. You walk with weapons no one can see. You love with conditions. And you trust like it's a weapon, not a gift. You're not heartless. You're just done handing your soul to people who treat it like a spare part. This version of you, it doesn't seek revenge. It is revenge. Every breath you take, every step forward, every door you open without them, every room you light up with your glow, knowing they can't bask in it anymore. That's the justice. Let them watch from the sidelines. Let them feel the cold they once gave you. Let them wonder how the person they discarded became a god in the ruins they left behind. You don't need apologies. You don't need closure. You don't even need them to remember you. Because legends aren't remembered for how they were treated. They're remembered for how they rose. So rise. Not with a scream, but with a silence that roars. Not with a tear, but with a smile that knows too much. Not with a grudge, but with a soul that's too evolved to look back. You gave them everything, and they forgot. Now give the world something unforgettable. Give it the version of you that doesn't ask to be loved, doesn't beg to be seen, doesn't wait to be remembered. Be the storm they didn't prepare for, the legacy they can't erase, the silence they can't ignore. You gave, and they forgot? Fine. Now take everything they ever doubted you could have, and wear it like armor, because the ones who are forgotten are the ones the world remembers the longest when they return unrecognizable.